Hello everyone, it's Natasha from Treasure Books. In today's video, I'll walk you through 13 mini side projects I'm currently working on. It's just a glimpse of what's been keeping me busy lately, and I'm sure you've got your own list of projects waiting to be tackled. My hope is that this video sparks, yes, I did that, something within you, whether it's diving into these projects or reigniting your passion for your unfinished ones. So let's get started and inspired and create together. Idea number one is really easy and simple, and it's mini notepads. So basically I'm using this generic notepad over here and it's falling apart, and I just take a few pages just like this, and then I grab a piece of fabric, and I like to have a zigzag edge, and now I like to wrap that over the top of my notepad. And now I take it to my sewing machine and basically just stitch across. If you don't want to do that with a sewing machine, or you don't have one, doesn't matter. You can just glue. Whenever I say sewing machine or I go to sew something today, just know that unless we're working with plastic bags and plastic in general, you can just use glue. Before I go and sew this, I'm going to pop a little something there, just a little piece of lace. This is pretty much what I am going to end up with. So I've got that there. I'm gonna take my sewing machine out and I'm just gonna sew right down. All right, that's done. And now at this stage, I like to come in with my zigzag scissors and cut off all of the excess of fabric. And now I'm just gonna use a little bit of this, apply a little bit of glue, glue it right on top, and here we go, done. You can put it in a journal pocket, you can pop it in a little cellophane bag, add a pencil, maybe a couple of stickers, you know, you can put a little bow, you can personalize this. It can be a little gift for a co-worker for Christmas, and you know, so many ways that you can utilize these little side projects. And I call this a side project because this is something that's ongoing. There's always bits of paper that I can sew together and make look pretty. All right, let's move on to idea number two, which I'm calling it 15 minutes create. So basically what I'm doing here is I always have leftover strips and bits and pieces of paper, as I'm sure you can relate. I spend about 15 minutes, I think it's about 3 times a week. I kind of put it in my diary where I sit down and I grab these pieces and I create houses, because I like the look of houses, but it can be anything. You can make birds, you can make hearts, flowers, mushrooms, so on and so forth. And then I come in and I do a little bit of lace, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. On my desk, I have this box and I kind of chuck things in here that don't really have a home. So if I have a scrap piece of lace or a little bit of fabric here, you know, sometimes I go overboard and keep everything, but it's kind of nice to kind of come in here and maybe put my hand in and see what am I gonna fish out. And then there's all this fun stuff that I can use along the way in my projects one of the things that fell out are these cats. And actually, you can see the cats in here. They're in the window. So my dream is to fill up this book. It's kind of like an art journal. Maybe I can come back to it. This one looks really busy. I have all this fake writing and then, you know, a little bit of this and a little bit of that. And I love the fact that it is busy, but there's something to look at. There's little details to kind of look at. The more busy, the more details. And then this one, we've got a little door and little handles. Like, I don't know how inspiring this is to you, or if this is something that speaks to you, but I think it's fun and it gets the creative juices flowing as well. So I like to kind of do this first before I start on my actual creative projects, and that's why I'm calling a side project. So this one's even got clouds and a chimney with sparkly smoke coming out and then butterfly. It doesn't make any sense, you know, but it's not supposed to make sense. I also started this one here. This one's like, as you can see, a larger size. It's like a mini little town. Well, not really, it's just 4 buildings, 4 houses. And these are junk mail envelopes that I used for the houses. And then I come in and I just add a little detail here, a little detail here, and I have a little bit of something there. And, you know, it's a work in progress that I come back to and just keep adding until I'm happy. And you can adapt this 15-minute project however you like. I think the idea really is that you just give yourself 15-minute spaces of time where you can just get your scraps out and just play. And I'm popping these on screen. This was a separate tutorial that a lot of you have probably already seen. These are supposed to be journaling spots, so you can write on the back, and they're supposed to be additions to journals. But I'm hoarding them, of course, because I love them so much, and there's something about these whimsical houses that I just really like it. And that's kind of the theme I'm going for here. You can play around, make some houses, add them to your art journal. Look how cool this looks. Oh, I love how that looks. Idea number 3 are these notepads. I'll show you what it is first, and then we'll make one from start to finish, because they're quite easy to do. I saw Nick the booksmith make this, and I added a little bit of, you know, my own little thing to it. And I love how easy they are to make and how absolutely beautiful and professional they look. And you can totally package this up, put it in a cellophane bag again, with a little pencil, with a little, maybe something fancy like this. These are not expensive. They're like $3 Australian from Kmart, you know, but they look very fun. I would love to get something like this as a little thoughtful gift. Look at that. All right, let's just get on to making it. I prepared a few things in advance. So let me just tell you, this is what we're gonna do. I'm using 10 sheets of standard computer printer paper, A4 size, and then I cut them in half. Okay, this is gonna make 2 notepads. All right, so I'm going to grab all my sheets, pop them together nicely, and then fold them all in half. And I'm going to do all of them together rather than one by one. And the reason why is because when I do it this way rather than one by one, I'm going to have a nice little curve here rather than a very sharp point, if that makes sense. I don't know if I'm very good at explaining today because I am a little bit sick. Next thing I've got is some pretty paper. Okay, you can see here we just need 2 pieces of pretty paper. Don't get too stuck on sizes and whatnot. All I'm doing is making sure that my 2 panels are going to cover the notepad. So I have a little bit of space here, and I have a little bit of space here, and I have a tiny little bit of space down the bottom. But if you want to get particular, the size is 4.5 inches by approximately 6 inches. And now someone's going to say, what's that in centimeters? And this is why I don't like to give out measurements. All right, next thing I've got is a little piece of cardstock, which is exactly the same width as my panels. Here you can see exactly the same. And now what I'm going to do is create a little spine, just like I have here, just a little spine. If you don't want to do the whole spine thing, you can just fold it in half and you won't have a spine. That's going to work as well. And I'm going to score 2 lines and give myself, what's that, 1/4 of an inch. You don't have to have a scoring board. You can simply make 2 folds, just like so. Just make 2 folds, and here's a little spine. Done and dusted. I will now ink the edges, because why not? And now you want to make 2 markings here. For marking where you want the holes for the binding. And I also didn't give you the size of this paper, because you might want to have yours long. You might want it to come down to here. So it's really up to you. All right, now I'm just going to eyeball this. I'm going to make a hole there, and let's say 1 there. I will be using eyelets. If you don't have eyelets, you don't need to use eyelets or anything like that. You just want to make a hole, just like so. But because I want to be adding eyelets to mine, I'm going to use my crocodile and make the holes. Perfect. Now I'm going to use eyelets. Alrighty, pop them in. Again, this is optional. Please don't think you have to have this. I'm going to set the eyelets. Excellent. So now we have this and this. And now I'm going to glue the panels on. So one goes to the front, just like so. And the other one goes to the back. Just want to make sure that's the right way. So I am going to do the back one first. I'm just going to apply glue all the way to that first crease. Okay, that's what it looks like from the back. Very nice. Professional indeed. And now before I glue this one, even though it would look fine just as it is, I might want to have a little play with adding some laces and whatnot. And because I'm trying not to complicate things and try not to overthink, I'm using the exact same thing that I used in the first project, just these 2 laces that I have. It was a lucky find at an op shop, so absolutely love this. Or was it Resource Rescue Center? I'm not sure. So I'm going to glue this underneath, apply some glue, pop the lace down. Okay, and now I'm going to go in with the front panel. So add more glue all the way to that crease line. We're not touching the spine, and glue this down. Nice and easy. This is what we have from the front, and look how cool that looks. I'm going to chop this off in a moment. I'm going to go in with my second bit of lace, glued right down. Yes, ma'am. And now cut this excess off. All right, so that's the cover ready to go. And now we have to bind the pages into the cover. So first thing we need to do is make the holes on here, and you can mark against the holes in your spine, or you can just eyeball it, which is what I do usually, and turns out perfectly fine every time. So I'm just gonna place it where I want it. That's good. And then just kind of eyeballing it. Does that look? You can see this is exactly what I'm looking at. And make a hole. Let's see now. Perfect. Look at that. Oh, you can't even see. It's right there. Excellent. Next. Perfect. All right. So the holes are corresponding. Excellent. I'm going to use twine to bind this. And I'm also going to use beads because I love this look. Oh, I love how beautiful that looks. And again, you know, optional. Now, this is something that I wanted to share with you because I did not know these things exist. I found this is a lucky find, lucky find in an op shop or a resource rescue center. I'm not sure, but I don't think they cost this much money now. And this isn't my writing. Anyway, big eye needle, and it's actually, I had to Google it. It's actually a beading needle. I've never seen it before. I had no idea what this is for, because if you put in big eye needle, you just get a big eye needle. This is something different for beading. Anyway, you can do this project without this special needle, but just in case you didn't know about it, like I didn't know about it, you might find it helpful because this needle has brought so much joy to my life. Again, you can just use normal needle. All right, so now I am just coming in from the inside. If you want a little bow or a little, if you want to finish off here without the beading and you want to have a bow, of course, you would then start from the outside in and you bring it back up and then you tie a bow. But this is how I'm doing it. I'm now over here And now I'm going to go on and add the beads. So I'm just going to show you the size of the beads. This is going to be hard to see, but I'm just demonstrating. And then I have this twine here, which loves to unravel when I try to put it through the bead. I find it really difficult. But with this amazing invention, look at this. And it's even doubled up here. Watch. It's just like the best thing ever. I'm gonna have to buy more of these. All right, I'm just gonna bead and I'll be back when all of the beads are on. All right, the beading is done. That's how many beads I can fit up the top. You can make a little handle and, you know, do something like this. All right, and now I'm going to go back in the hole here, and then of course the corresponding hole on the paper, on the little signature. Took my needle off and I'm tucking it safely away in here because it gets lost so easily. I actually had 3 and now I'm only down to 1. It looks like hair. All right, that's away. Okay, now we're going to tighten this here. I'm gonna cut this off, that can go. And now we're going to tie a knot and try and make it a nice and tight knot. Okay, it's not too tight, but it's okay. There's a little bit of give here, that's fine. I can't, with the beads, I can't make it extremely tight. And now we have these little strings here. You can leave them long. You can add little heart shapes on there, paper hearts or whatever, you know, or you can just do this. And look at that. How beautiful. Oh, I love how this looks, especially when there's more than one. Look, it's just glorious, so rich, especially those beads up the top. They add so much charm. All right, let's move along. Idea number 4 is junk mail tags. They look really, really cool. They're a whole lot fun to make, and I'm sure you've done stuff like this before, but just in case, you know, here I am to reignite. Look at these little mini tags. So all this is basically is junk mail envelopes, which I use for that many projects, and look how many. This is an ongoing side project because there's always more, especially if family members give you theirs, or if you tell your friends, and then you constantly get junk mail envelopes and then you can't part with them. And I have a lot of videos, different types of things that I do with junk mail envelopes. I'll link them down below if you want to have a look. But for this project, basically, this is all it is. I rip them down so that I don't have any straight edges, and I ink the edges because I like the, you know, that kind of a look. And then I just glue it down, and I'm gluing it down onto a piece of cardstock. This happens to be a file folder, and that's it. You can use this alone in so many different ways. This can be a journal cover, just like this, beautiful journal cover. Or you can cut them down into hearts, into various shapes, including tags, and so many. Well, of course, now that I'm talking about junk mail envelopes, there is a project in my book I just want to show you. Oh my goodness, I can't find it. All right, well, here's one. There's one project, but that's not the one I want to show you. I cannot believe this. Here it is. I don't know how I missed it. Actually, you know what? I'll just show you the journal. I just want to say something. I got married 21 years ago, and I have never watched my wedding day DVD. I don't know what it is. The same kind of thing with my book. I've never actually gone through the book. I flipped through it on my channel, but I didn't sit down and go through the book. So I couldn't find, I didn't know where this. Okay, so this is actually a project that I did in the book, you know, fun. And this is all junk mail envelope fun. But the focus in the book wasn't on using the junk mail envelopes, it was using the packaging boxes, and then we did the project. All right, back to the present. I kind of went off track there a little bit, but I wanted to say that you can glue your stuff down and use this in many different ways. And as I'm sure you know this, I'm sure you've already done it, but you know. And then you have all these little things that you can put in your journals, or you can even have, maybe not this many little ones, but you can do a little package with just a few of these tags. Package it up nicely, perhaps have a little bit of twine binding or something pretty like this, you know, to tie it. And then you can have one of these, and you can have one of these, and make it a little gift for someone. I think that looks really nice. All right, let's move on. That one wasn't very exciting. Idea number 5. Is lace flowers, and I've already done a tutorial on this, and I'm going to link it in the description box down below. They're very, very, very easy to make. As you can see, look how many I have, and I keep making them, and I keep using them in projects or sending them in things that I sell, or as add-ons to journals, or they go in journals. You can make brooches. I mean, the ideas are endless, obviously. And the reason why I'm including this today in this video, I just want to show you, you can have really big chunky ones like this, and you can have dainty little ones like this. This is something that you can do in front of the TV, which is pretty much how I made all of these. Not that I watch that much TV, but when I do, this is what happens. And the reason why I included it into this video is because this is an ongoing side project. This is something that I keep making, even though I made this tutorial, I think it was maybe 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, maybe 3. I don't remember even when I did the tutorial. To this day, I'm still making the flowers. And then if you're wondering, not all of my flowers have the middle here, the middle piece. These are all buttons, all of them are buttons. And I use hot glue, and I kind of fill it all up in there. I show all of that in the tutorial, but you don't have to have this centerpiece. You can just leave it as it is, and you can layer your flowers. You can do something like this. You know, you can really make it really quite special by layering the flowers, or, you know, you can have a lot of fun with this. All right, let's move on. Project number 6 is charms. So here is my working box. I have all sorts of stuff in here, mainly broken jewelry. And then I have things like this, you know, it's all messy in here, necklaces and things like that. And then I pull things apart and I make charms or little dangles like this, whatever you want to call them. Let's make one real quick. And this is another one of those things that can be done in front of the TV, and they don't have to be anything extraordinary or anything like that. You're just kind of stacking things together. Of course, I do have these flat eye needle, I think it's called, I'm not sure what they're called, I always forget what they're called. And then I just make a whole bunch. There's one little one done. Of course, it helps if you have these in your stash. If you don't, you can still make, you know, we're using broken jewelry, so let's make something with this, for example. This is a broken necklace. I'm just removing little bits. I'm left with this instant little dangle. I can put it on a bob pin like this. I can go in here, perhaps maybe use one of these, remove it from this necklace, place it on the bottom here. You get the idea. That's what I have so far. Maybe I can pop a little something on here. Let's see, what do we have? Stuff like this. Oh, this looks good. Pop it on here, close. All right, here's what I have so far, and I popped it on a little bulb pin. And of course you can use these in 1,000,001 ways, but what I'm envisioning for this one is to pop it on this journal. This is a journal that I'm currently embellishing and working in, so I am going to pop this onto the spine, but I think why stop there when I can add a couple more? Maybe do something like this, real rich, rich and chunky. Okay, onto the spine it goes, and done. That looks pretty cool. Lovely. Project number 7 is paper strip booklet dangles. I put it onto this lace just for demonstration purposes, but I'll show you one individually. Look how cute. So basically I'm using paper strips, so we'll get to this in a moment. I'll tell you what this is. I also have a video on making these little mini booklets, and this I am marrying the two ideas using the charms that I've just spoken about and making these little dangles and using paper offcuts, little strips. These can be beautiful little additions to journals. They can be used to write notes like Christmas wish list or goals for May, 2024 goals for the full year. I don't know, you know, plenty of things you can use them for. But I think they're a whole lot of fun to make. And then when you have a whole bunch like this, it's just, you know, it's just fun, right? And so easy. So all this is, I'll see if I can put in a little segment here where these strips came off. And of course I'm going to keep all this, and also this one I'm keeping. But basically when you're, as you know, when you're cutting off strips of paper to make your books and to shorten them to fit the cover, whatever, you always have these leftover little pieces, and I always feel kind of bad throwing them out, and I never throw them out. I made a full video of all these little booklets and things that you can make. That was quite a popular video, so I will link it down below if you want to, you know, have a look. But this is just slightly different. So I'll make one real quick. You have your strips folded in half or not, and then you want to poke a hole. You can just poke a hole and call it done. You don't have to have an eyelet, but again, I'm going to. Lovely. Ink some edges. Add a jump ring. You can close that jump ring here and call it done, or you can be a little bit extravagant. Add a little charm. Close. Looking good. Get another jump ring on there, and then I'm gonna add one of these. Also can come off broken jewelry and whatnot, so that gives me something to use to hang on to projects. And close, and done. Maybe that's a bit chunky for this, but I don't know, I like it. And here they are in all their glory, ready to go onto various projects, journals, keychains, handbags, wallets, you name it. Project number 8 is vinyl pouches, and of course you can adapt this idea to scrapbook paper pouches or fabric pouches, or you can make junk mail envelope pouches. I am calling them vinyl pouches because I have a roll of this vinyl that I found at a resource rescue center, and I am making pouches. This is the first one that I made, and it has this snap closure. But just in case if you don't have this kind of a thing, the snap closures and the tool to set it, then what I did, the reason why I need a closure is because it keeps flapping open, which I'll show you in a minute because I will make one on screen. I'll kind of speed through it, but I needed something to keep it closed, and I found that when you add weight, like I did here, I added these little charms. It keeps the weight of the charms, keeps the pouch closed. Okay, so I'm just gonna cut myself some vinyl now. I need to ensure that all of my edges are straight. You can see how this one's not straight. So I'm just gonna trim it down, make it nice and straight. Here we go, there's my vinyl cut down. So now we're making it into a pouch, like a little envelope type of a thing. So of course we need to secure the sides and maybe not the bottom, just the sides. So I'm going to take it to my sewing machine, and I'm going to sew a straight stitch right across these 3 sides here. Now this, obviously you need, if you're using this, you need a sewing machine. You could hand stitch, blanket stitch. You could try and use glue. If you're using paper, of course, glue is going to work. So I'm going to sew this, and because it keeps popping open, I'm just holding it down with these clips. And off I go. Back stitch here at the start and keep going. The main thing, of course, is just securing the sides, but I like to go across the bottom as well. Back stitch at the end and done. Chopping those threads off. That goes into my jar of threads. I think somebody said they're called orts, I think, because we can do all sorts of stuff with this as well. We'll do that another time. And here is my pouch. So we can make it, you know, we can make it real fun, but we want to keep this video simple. This is what I wanted to talk about. The closure here, because of the type of the material that I used when I closed it, you know, it just pops right open. So you can use a bit of Velcro to keep it closed. You can use this kind of a system if you have it, any type of, I don't know, you can do a wrap around, have a little hole here, have some ribbon, have some twine, keeping it closed. Or this is my little materials for this project. These are cut-offs from something. I think my mom gave me this. You know, when people know you work with all this kind of stuff, they tend to give you stuff that they think you can use. So then, of course, I like to make the flap pretty, as you can see. So I'm going to use a bit of this, neaten up this edge. So I'm going to glue this on the inside here, just like so. And it's gonna look like this. That's why I neatened up the edge, because you can see it from the inside. Otherwise, if you're just sewing right on top, then, you know, with these ones I kind of folded it over and sewn through. But for this, I'm gonna glue it on for now and pop this on. All right, here we go. That's looking mighty fine. I am also going to take this to my sewing machine and just do one straight stitch right across there. And there we have it. Look how nice that looks, nice and neat on the inside as well. And now I'm going to trim the sides here, get rid of the thread, and done. And now you get the idea. We spoke about the type of closure that you can use, and because see, it just flips right open. So now what I would do, I'm not going to do it now because it will take way too long. I'm never going to finish filming. But you see, I just added little charms all across, and that weight keeps the pouch nice and closed, and it looks fabulous. And then there's this one, not as fabulous, and then this one, also not as fabulous. So I most definitely like this look, and this is what I'm going to do with this one, but I'll do it in my own time. All right, let's move on. Project number 9 are yo-yo bookmarks. Look at the fabulousness of these little guys. All right, so here's my little working box for this, and you can see I made a whole bunch of yo-yos. And if you don't have the tools to make these, what I'm about to show you, don't worry, because you don't need a special tool. I came across this kit. I suppose you can say, look at all the fun stuff you can make. So I came across this. It was a lucky find at Savers, at an op shop or a thrift store. But I know there's plenty of videos where you can, and when you see me do one, you'll see that you don't need this special tool, which is this thing here. I'm going to use this today. I will tell you how you can do it without this special tool. But basically I have my fabric in there, and I'm gonna line it up. It's got these little lines. It tells you where to line it up, and then cut a circle around. So basically, if you don't have the tool, you just need a circle of fabric. All right, here's what I have, and now I'm going to stitch around. So I will speed this up, and I will put the process, I will put this up on screen later if you want to look for it. You can probably find it on eBay and Amazon, and probably quite cheap to get, I can imagine. All right, here I am. I'm going to speed this up. I have to go all the way around. This is another one of those things that you can do mindlessly in front of the TV. I'm here at the end. I'm going to go through that where I first started, go through that part again. And now you will see what you need to do if you don't have a yo-yo maker. I think they, I don't know why they're called yo-yos. Okay, so here we go. This comes off. So if you don't have one of these, all you need to do is start off with your somewhat circle, it doesn't have to be a perfect circle, piece of fabric, and weave your needle through all the way around. That's all that is, okay? And then, there goes my needle, I'm gonna need that. You pull on the thread, Here we are a bit closer. So you just pull on the thread. That's it. And then you fiddle, fiddle. Oh, look at that. Sure. Perfectly cute little yo-yo. Get my needle back on. All right, so once you've pulled it nice and tight, you just kind of tie a knot. I'm gonna go through there somewhere in the middle. And tie a knot and chop it off. All right, there it is. And now this also was a lucky find at a craft fair. Of course, I jumped right on it when I saw that. Chances are you may not have found this at a craft fair, so you may not have it. But again, these can be used in so many different ways. Of course, you don't have to make bookmarks. This is just what I'm doing. So basically how I do it is I use a little bit of hot glue to glue it onto the fabric. And then I use a button, a shank button. Here it is, a shank button. And I fill this up with hot glue as well. I just pop hot glue in there, maybe a little bit of hot glue on the shank button, and pop it in and glue it down, and that's done. That can go on journals, many different projects, like I said, but this is what I've been making. And as you can see, I made quite a few, and I'm gonna keep making them until I run out of these, basically. I purchased this one from the lady who was selling the bookmarks, and I thought, oh, that's a great idea. I actually bought this for my daughter. It was $3, and she's been using it as a bookmark in her book. So you can do like a button like this. I like these better. I think they look nicer. All right, so let's get some more ideas. These are the yo-yo maker things that I found, and that's the company. Maybe it's not in business anymore, who knows. And you can do things like this. I haven't tried this one, I haven't even opened it. And then you can make little ones like this. That's actual size, so it's quite tiny. And then these ones, this is the ones that I've been making with this size. I'm only showing you this too if you want to purchase it or look for it. Otherwise, I also want to show you some project ideas. That would be cool on a journal cover. What else did they have? Another little bag here. I remember these. And then what's this? Like little gifts, a little, I don't know what that is. It says bed covers, table runners, bags, decorations. Of course, they don't look nearly as fabulous when they're just yo-yos on their own. But when you put a little something in the middle, it doesn't even have to be on a paper clip. Actually, if you don't have these special bookmark paper clips, you can just use standard. These are large paper clips, or you can just use standard. This probably, I don't know, probably a bit too small, but you can stitch here, stitch it on, and still have your little bookmark. Or like, especially if you have these large ones, you can stitch it on, make sure this bit is down the bottom, and then you stitch it on, or you can use hot glue it on, and then get a little circle something, or a little flower, I don't know, you can back them. You can have double-sided bookmark like this. Just, yeah, that would look pretty cool as well. What do you think? I just keep going until I'm done with all of this, and then I move on to another project, one of which is project number 10, which is tassels. And this is my tassel workstation. All right, let's have a look. I have two different kinds. First is with the ring up the top, and next is with this kind of thing up the top. I don't have a special name. These are the tassels there, little pom-poms. And then I have these. These are in progress. They're not finished yet. So I'm going to do two today on camera, and I'm going to do the ring one, and I'm going to do these as well. And I just wanted to say, when you're making tassels, if you want to make a whole bunch, the way that I work, for example, these that are on the go, I follow, you can see, a somewhat same formula. So what's happening here, in here I have all of the things that I need to make these tassels. You can use ribbons, you can use lace, you can use threads, you can use, what are they called? Twine, and so on and so forth. I'll make one of these just real quick to inspire you, following the same formula as what I did here. I have everything I need in my little lid over here on the side. So I have a little bit of lace, whatever this is, and this, and another one of those. Doesn't have to be anything special at this point. And then this came off of a necklace, of course. This is the special little thing. Every tassel has something special, some type of a metal. This is an actual ring, but you can use anything that you have really round. You can use these things, you know. Pop it through your round thing, your ring. Now we want to tie it up the top. I'm gonna use this thread and just wrap around real tight. Tie a knot and a double knot. Bring the threads to the other side and repeat. Double knot. And now these threads become part of the tassel. Okay, next thing I want to do, I've already done all of my thinking processes here, and I'm gonna add all of these beads which I have ready because I'm well prepared, you know. And now we shall speed this up. I'm simply going to thread some beads. Going back to this little guy, this is seriously, everyone needs to have one of these. Just makes everything so much easier because I need to get this. Look at this. Look how thick that is. And I need to get it through here. Prior to having this, what I would do is add a little bit of glue and make that into a point, and then it's easier to thread. Beads are on, tie a knot. And so on and so forth. All right, now that all of my beads are on, I'm gonna check the length of everything, give it a little bit of a haircut, and done. 2 tassels done, exactly the same, and all the thinking, look how rich they look beautiful. All the thinking was done only once. Okay, now I want to show you this type of thing. If you're using like a bead cap rather than a ring, I'm going to show you how to do this next. All right, I'm gonna use one of these. I'm gonna go in with some lace, maybe a little bit of black something, a little bit of this, and maybe another one of those. And of course you just keep adding your little threads or whatever you want to add. And now this is just waxed thread. I'm gonna pop it in the middle of all of my threads and tie a knot, make it tight, and another knot, make it tight. Lovely. Next thing is I'm gonna use this. I have no idea what these are called, but they come in like these are on hoodies, you know, your jumpers when they have the string hanging down and then it has this down the bottom because it hides the big chunky knot. That's what I'm using. And then I really don't know what they're called. You can use pen caps as well. Let me see. I mean, don't go ruining pens, but when your pens stop working and you chuck them out, if you can save these, then perfect. You can use it for this project. All right, I'll go with this one, and that goes on like so, and bring it over your tassel over here, just like that. And now I'm gonna go in with a bead, and I'm gonna use some bead caps. Pop the bead cap through. Now both of the strings have to go through the bead caps and the beads. Now here comes the bead. Might do the bead cap at the same time. Now with the second string I have to go through the bead and through the bead cap. Push it all the way down. Now of course you can adapt to this, you know, to materials that you have on hand. All right, and that's on like so. I'm gonna tie a knot and bring it all the way to the bead, just like that. All right, and then I'm going to tie another knot a little bit further away, just like so. Tighten, chop, add a bulb pin or of course jump ring or whatever you have, and pop it through, and then you know you can just add it to your project. So what not? Of course this one's not finished because I'm gonna go in and chop the ends here off, put some beads on, and just, you know, see what I've done. All, you know, you know what to do. You know what to do. Look at this. Fun stuff. Beads, chains, broken jewelry, and yeah, keep going and have fun. Yes. All right, let's move on. Number 11 is my mini art journal. Really simple and easy to make. I'm going to show you what I'm doing here. Again, another ongoing project, and the way that I envision using this one's got white pages and it's cardstock. That's why I'm calling it mini art journal. It's nothing special. Look at this cover. Nothing special whatsoever. And the way that I'm envisioning this is I love the houses and whimsical houses, and each one of these pages I can draw, paint, glue stuff down and make little houses. So for the rest of these that I'm still going with, I dyed the pages just using my ink pads. I spray some water onto plastic. I would do it now, but I'm really running out of time. I have my plastic sheet over here, usually a cereal bag. I dab the ink on, spray it with water. I take my pristine white page and just dab, 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 repeat. And then I have this kind of an effect. I was planning to actually make one, but I don't think I need to, in all honesty. Like I said, all the thinking is done for the very first one, which is this one. Then I trim down, I have this vinyl. It's the same vinyl that I used before for the pouches. And, you know, it can be upholstery fabric, whatever you have on hand, again. Then I have my signatures. They're all ready to go. I like to ink the edges, which I haven't done on this one. I pop it down on my vinyl, just like that, and draw myself a line here where I'm going to poke the holes. And I do a 3-hole pamphlet stitch. You can see here, 3-hole pamphlet stitch. Very easy and simple and quick. So let's pretend that's already bound in. And then this is my closure. I'm going to trim this down, round the edges because I like that look. Wrap a bit of twine, you can see, just twine wrapped around. So simple, you know, just wrap something around, lace, whatever. And then I have my little sheet here printed. You can see my printer, this is what my printer does. Printed, of course, onto some cardstock. This is the cover of my kids' workbooks, and I printed this, my mini art journal. Of course, I can't use most of these, but I cut it out, I glue it on, and that's it. Done. Right? Easy. I hope this is inspiring. I'm really trying to rush now because it's been hours since I started filming. Literally, it's been 4 hours, believe it or not. You know, I cut most of the things out, but I feel like it's just never ending. I was going to actually do one on camera, but I can't. I don't have all the time in the world. And I think I can just talk you through it. This is the closure. I have an eyelet there. You know, this is just one of those simple little quick things that you can make. It can be a nice little journal companion that goes with your larger journal. Perhaps you can sell them. You can take them to craft fairs. You can put them in a cellophane bag, add a little fancy schmancy thing, or even better, a bookmark. Maybe this one, I don't know. That looks not bad. Pop it in there perhaps, maybe on the back cover, maybe inside the journal like so. That doesn't look too great. I would have to think it through, but you know, just giving you some ideas. Maybe you can add one of your little charms onto that closure there, just like that. Add a little pouch, maybe some tags, maybe a little flower, maybe the paper strip booklet. You know, you get the idea. Look at this, like you put it together, put it in a cellophane bag, wrap some twine, wrap some ribbon, do a little thing, and you have a beautiful gift. Who wouldn't love to receive something like this? Okay, so this got me a little bit sidetracked here, so let's move on. Project number 11 is magazine images. Okay, this isn't anything original. Most of these things aren't things that you haven't seen before, most likely. But this is an ongoing project of mine. And what I use for this mostly are catalogs. These are catalogs for cross-stitch and for puzzles. And specifically, this is the magazine that these images come in. Look how beautiful. But then, of course, I also use book images and magazine. This is from a magazine. And I just make them into journaling spots. And I'm quickly going to just quickly show you what I have. This is an ongoing project. Look at this beauty. Ongoing project that I keep making and using and making and using. Look at this. This came from a book. And then look at all of these. These are all cross-stitch little things, cross-stitch images that I use in this way, all journaling spots. So this would be cool to add into our little gift here. Pop it in the pouch. But the reason why I'm showing you this is because I found a really quick and easy way of making these. I used to cut the images out, then I would glue them onto a blank piece of paper, and then I would sew around. The way that I do this now, and I do use my sewing machine, is let's pick a random image. Okay, this isn't gonna work. What do we have here? Do we see anything we like? I like this one. And because I have so many, this could be like all of eternity. All the magazine images that you can see that would look nice, you know, you can't use them all. And then what I do, I've chosen to use this girl here. And then I just give it some weight by folding my paper this way and that. You can see it's a little bit chunky. Then I get a blank piece of paper, or cardstock in this case, and I pop it like so. So I don't need to worry about gluing it stuff down and then going to, you know, just fold stuff, pop it down like this, and I take it to my sewing machine. Here we are at my sewing machine, and I just sew all the way around. Sewn, lovely. And then I just follow my image and get rid of all of the stuff that I don't need. Just cut right through. And here we go. And that way you can make a whole heap. Plenty of stuff here. And the reason why I like to fold the pages is because it gives it a sturdiness, I suppose. I don't know. I just like it. It feels different in the hand when there's layers underneath. It just is more sturdy. I don't know if I can explain what I'm trying to say. If you are wondering about copyright, you can use literally any book, let's say that's still under copyright, okay? If it's not under copyright, then you don't have to worry about copyright. You can use any book, any image, any catalog. As long as you're using the original piece, you have no issues with copyright. If you were to make this and replicate it in any way by copying, scanning, and then printing the same image over and over again, you are replicating, and then you're breaking copyright rules, right? You can use the original image, you can use it in your journals that you sell, no issues. If you copy it, issues. I hope that makes sense. All right, back into my workstation, all of these go. And we're nearly at the end. All right, the last side project that I have to share with you today are these tags. I'm calling them tags, unfinished. And all this is a little bit of cardstock, and then I'm using some pages. I don't know how many pages that is, from a block of paper that I have here. I got this from Aldi. So let's say I just randomly, you know, take a few pages out. I have another piece of paper, so you can see these are going to be different sizes. It doesn't matter. And then I can use this, what I've used previously for the magazine images. I'm going to fold it in half. It would be nice if it was longer. And I'm going to glue this down. I'll cut the excess off here and there. Now I'm making it into a tag shape. So I want to cut off the shoulders, if you will. Here's my little notepad. It would be really better if it was longer. I can shorten this, whatever, you know. Just quickly demonstrating here because we need to end preferably soon. And then glue it down, ink away. At this point I take it to my sewing machine and just do a zigzag stitch. You can see here, zigzag stitch. Preferably black, but I have white in my machine, so I'm just gonna go with that. That still looks all right, and there we go. And then you know, you go ahead and you can add your own little things. You can add lace, you can add a bit of this and a bit of that. We're making it into a tag, so on all of these you can see I work in stages, and I'm adding the circles at the moment. These all have the circles. So I'll tell you what this came from. And then, I don't know, why do I make this many? Why do I make this many? The reason why is because this piece of cardstock that you see here was another thing that I found in the Resource Rescue Center. And it already had the holes perforated kind of. And then when I popped them out, the holes came out. This is all unnecessary information, but I was starting with that piece, and then I had the idea to put a scrapbook paper, a bit of cardstock, and then I had the idea to come in with some of these pages and then to glue them down and then to do the stitching and then to do this up the top. And now I have this project and I can mindlessly keep on repeating. I give myself 2 20-minute sessions a week. This has been going on, I don't know, I've been working on this for the last 5 weeks. It's unimportant. It doesn't need to be done now, right? This is an ongoing side project. And now I'm questioning, like, why am I even showing you this? It's not that great. But anyway, when you add it to a journal or another project, you know, it becomes a little bit special. All right, let's recap. I'm starting to lose my voice. Project number 1, mini notepads. Project number 2, 15 minutes create. Project number 3, fancy schmancy beaded notepads. Project number 4, junk mail tags. Project number 5, lace flowers. Project number 6, charms. Project number 7, paper strip booklet dangles. Project number 8, vinyl pouches. Project number 9, yo-yo bookmarks. Project number 10, tassels. I can't even, where am I going to fit all of this? Project number 11, my mini art journal. Project number 12, magazine images. And project number 13, tags. Tags, booklet tag, I have no idea what to call them. I am all out. All out of voice, all out of space, but definitely not all out of ideas. This is only a small fraction of the projects that I'm working on. And you might be wondering, where do I keep all this stuff? Because they all have their own little tubs and things. And I pretty much keep it the exact same places that you keep yours, which is pretty much all over the place, on the counters, on the floors, wherever there's space, there's projects. It's not ideal, but that's what we're all kind of dealing with, isn't it? So my goal for today's video was to inspire you and to hopefully reignite perhaps some creativity in you, maybe remind you of some projects that you used to do and then you stopped, and some projects you want to go back to. Perhaps you learned a new thing or two. Please let me know what you think. Which one of these projects is your favorite? Do you feel inspired? And of course, are you still here? I was going to say high five, but that doesn't seem right, does it? Maybe a thumb. No, that doesn't also. Thumbs up to you. Thank you so much for being here. Please let me know what you think, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.